Hey guys, today we're going to talk about completing the square. So completing the square is a continuation of our topic on finding roots. So what exactly is completing the square? Well, what we want to do is we want to write our equation from standard form to vertex form. Now that's what the form is called, but the way it looks is that we have some quantity squared plus or minus, usually it's going to be minus some number and then equals 0. That's our goal. We want to write it like this because we're going to solve using square roots. So let's take a look at an example that's written in standard form, but we want to convert into vertex form by completing the square. So in this equation, we have x squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. So here's the thing. This is not obviously in vertex form. This is in standard form. We have x squared, we have something x, and then we have a constant. So how do we write this as some quantity squared? Now I'm going to present the answer, and the answer is x minus 3, the quantity, squared, minus 4. Now this is the exact same equation. So let's take a look at our vertex form. What we're going to do here today is we're going to take it from vertex form and go to standard form and see what we can do to go backwards. So for this particular equation, since we had x minus 3, the quantity squared, minus 4, what we can do is we can expand this x minus 3. Now to expand this binomial, we have to use FOILing, right? So first, outer, inner, last. And when we do that, we get x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 4. Now this minus 4 is just this original minus 4 brought down. Now, when we combine this, we see that we can combine the plus 9 and the minus 4, and we get x squared minus 6x plus 5. But here's the thing. How do I go backwards now? Well, let's compare those two equations because they are the same, right? Remember, x minus 3 quantity squared minus 4 is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 5. Notice that this minus 3 over here in this quantity and this minus 6x. So we noticed that we took this minus 3, and in our process of FOILing, we ended up getting this minus 6. We just got this number that's double that minus 3. This is really important because this is the key to completing the square. So if we went from vertex form to standard form and we doubled that number, how are we going to go backwards? We're going to cut it in half, right? And that's what we're going to do. Now, notice that one has a minus 4 and the other has a plus 5. They don't really seem to be coming from any same source. Now, they are a little bit related. What happens if we actually do FOIL out x minus 3 squared? Well, that last term is going to be negative 3 times negative 3, which is plus 9. So what we just did is we also added 9. So how do I add a 9? Can I really do that to an equation? Well, only if I'm going to subtract 9 as well. So I can simply undo that. Now, I just added 9 just because I needed to. So then I'm going to subtract a 9 from that equation from the same side. This really undoes it. And this is why that plus 5 gets changed to a minus 4. Because what is plus 5 minus 9? We get minus 4. And we get back to our original equation, which we knew should have gotten us x minus 3 quantity squared minus 4. So let's take a look at one more example. So what if we're given the equation x squared plus 10x plus 17 is equal to 0? What I want to do in this case is convert this into vertex form by completing the square. So are we going to focus on the 10x? Are we going to focus on the 17 or on the x squared? So we're going to focus on the b coefficient, right? And the b is really the middle coefficient here, the one in front of the x. So we need to focus on the 10. So what we said for completing the square is we're going to take half of this. So what is half of positive 10? Positive 5. So what we should have is x plus 5, the quantity squared. Now we still have that plus 17, and that's okay. But here's the thing. Because we set this up, and if we were to expand this binomial, this x plus 5 squared, we're going to have a plus 25. We never really considered that. So since we just added that magically, we got to subtract it. So we're going to have minus 25 as well. So what we should be writing on our next step is x plus 5, the quantity squared, plus 17 minus 25. And again, we're subtracting this 25 because we added this. And thus we get x plus 5 quantity squared minus 8 is equal to 0. And this is our final answer. So what we were able to do here was complete the square and take an equation that's in standard form and move it over to vertex form. See you guys next time.